Okay, hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty. This is the first diary update for the Inquisitor tornado character. I am in maps. I have done my Merciless Lab, and things are going good. We're going to do a map together, but first we're going to briefly talk about any sort of amendments or where the build's at. So we'll just go over the gear real quick. I'm trying to keep my body armor blank as far as sockets because we're going to use Callum's Heart eventually, so there's no point to love something and leave it behind. That's a very deep quote. I hope you appreciate that. So that most of the rares I've gotten are either just vendor crafted, like got from the vendor that augmented it in some way, not just an augmentation orb, but in some way, or acquired just through mercenaries. This is pretty much commonplace at the moment. Merch drop, what I would say, oh god, the server's been actually abysmal. Merch drop, what I refer to as not like smart rolled gear, it's like semi-smart rolled gear. It's really not great, but sometimes you'll get like life high res. Like this is the best thing I've probably gotten, right? But sometimes you'll just get things where it's like some life and some res, and that's pretty okay. Some life and some res and stats. This shield is the nicest item I have, right? But this I got from gambling because Faustus actually smart rolls rares quite often. Seemingly much higher value. So I'm trying to get Wrathpith from gambling, which is why I have that. A dagger I just got from someplace. Again, the gloves are just res and rare. Res, rare, life, you know, they get the deal. So the two uniques I have, I've got from mercenaries. Infamous mercenaries always have a unique. They seem to be like better, but they're also way harder to fight. Some of the scaling on these mercenaries are basically fall into two categories. Instantly one-shot you, or do absolutely nothing at all. So the tuning is just wildly fucked. I haven't even been using mercenaries because none of the ones I use they seem to ever survive more than like a map, or they don't contribute that much offensively. Once I get a little bit more situated, there's a reason not to run one, I guess, just for the IQ and like run a defensive one, but I just not found really a worthwhile one as of yet. So Honor Home, I'm using with the basic tornado setup, added fire, conk, and I have crit strikes instead of damage because my stats are a little bit low, so I don't have that high crit rate to use crit damage, but it's not really, you could interchange them. I have Assassin's Mark just to manually cast on rares. Frost Shield, again, the same thing defensively. And Frost Blink is a movement skill. And then over here I have Hatred linked up to Eternal Blessing. It's a great more multiplier. Vitality, obviously Blood Magic on life. And Herald of Ash, which once your damage gets better, you probably just convert to Tempest Shield just for more defenses, but it's totally fine early on to use that. Automation with Steel Skin, and then I have Petrified Blood because I have a pretty chunky life pool. I'm level 71, I have 6.2k life, half of that is open, 55% of it is open because of my masteries. So that's my basic setup. My tornado took me 8 labs, but 9 divine fonts because I got one double to get, which was like an hour, so pretty okay there. And I did my Merc lab, hit plus 15 quality, so I have the quality. I'm going to go back today and just get more quality to make it 20, because quality, every 1% is 2 movement speed, and every level is 3 movement speed, so that's why it scales so well. So that's that. For tree, I started out pathing out of Templar. I went down and I grabbed Iron Will, then I worked my way over and grabbed Magmatic Strikes for some bursts of damage. Then I worked my way all the way down and grabbed Blood Magic, and then picked up the Aura nodes, and I started grabbing the Life nodes. After I picked up the basic tree framework, sans this whole section, I picked up the Life nodes, all the masteries, then I went for Petrified Blood, grabbed things like Glancing Blows and Sanctuary for some early res and block and max res. When I started to see that Seguinomancer mercenary, the blood one, I grabbed Corrupting Blood because without that, that lady fucking railed me. So I have that. And then I pathed over, eventually got Pain Attunement, and now I have Melding for additional ES for my little buffer and more life. Right now I'm working on grabbing Hardy, and then after Hardy, I'm going to come up and pick up this Arcane Potency Crit Mastery and the 30% Crit Multi node there. And I'm going to reassess, but probably just grab more life and jewel sockets. So that's that. For labs, I went Sanctuary and Pious Path, and then after that, Righteous Providence, and for Merc Lab, I'm going to do Inevitable Judgment for the sweet, sweet crit pen. Love that. And yeah, up until Tornado, I just used Absolution and a 3-link. It was whatever. You know, I think it was a Fizz to Lightning, and then minion damage and minion speed eventually. And for Flasks, I just got Quicksilvers and a couple of Hollows, so nothing really going on there. Bandits kill all, as usual, but if you feel like saving one of them. If you like one, go for it. So let's just run this bone crypt to see how it feels. Once I got Tornado up and running at like level 35, whenever I got the gem, it's been an absolute piss walk leveling wise. The build is incredibly good, and on my 4-link I'm good to go. I can just go to red maps right now as far as like level progression. I could just walk my way to red maps and I'll have probably no issues with the natural progression of my gear, with the natural progression of my skill gems. One tornado typically kills a rare if left alone. Right, they have a duration of 4 seconds, and they I can have 3 of them, and they're just kind of doing their thing. If you get one that has like elemental res or life regen, this one's got res and life regen. Might take 2, but yeah, they die. We're incredibly tanky, by the way. So for context, I have 3.2k open life. I have what is this? 1400 life regen and 200 ES regen. So I have like 50% of my life, 50% life regen, and I'm just picking up now the hardy node, which is a chunky bit of that. So yeah, we're totally gonna be fine for a while here. And basically every level of tornado gives me like a huge chunk of more damage and then some more clear speed. So it's really, really nice. And single target feels fine. You just put 3 tornadoes on something and then they're gone. I'd like to maybe get, if I can, on my rings, the implicit frenzy charges, like from Betrayal, the minimum frenzy charges, just because it's like nice to get that extra, you know, cast speed. If anything, it feels a little bit slow at the release, but yeah, no real issues. Here's a Wither Touch. This is the Chaos Res one. These are one of like the 2 ones, this and the Bulwark, were like super fucking lethal when I fought them. So I was not fighting them, but that's a nice weapon. But yeah, I'm looking for a pair of boots, and those are a pair of boots. Those have an open suffix. So I really would like to get those boots. But these things are very spooky. Yeah, very, very spooky with the curses and their whatnot. But we could kind of play it at range here. I could LOS things when they can't LOS me, because the tornadoes turn corners. So like their soul split and soul rend can't go through things, but I could attack through things to a degree. So it's like you could interpret that as something you could kind of cheat. Like their soul rend is like hitting walls, and tornado smart pass around walls, right? So you could kind of cheese a lot of these guys. Those boots are pretty huge. 120 life, res life. I can't use them now because I have my chaos res in these, but eventually if I can get chaos res with the hybrid roll, those are pretty sweet. So yeah, that's kind of in the process. Like if they're the really scary ones, I take it slow, but yeah, for the most part, I'm just like normal mobs. I'm walking through all this stuff, no problem. Literally just like a force of nature, just walking through. We'll showcase, I guess, the single target when I get to the boss, but it's a low tier map, so nothing really matters. You know, I'm gonna start working today on some basic things like getting my gems to, you know, level to 20, get low 90s, maybe start working on quality and supports, flip them. Maybe get an anoint, something like that. If I can grab a blight map. There's some like okay anoints you could do. You could do aura ones if you want more aura to slap on. I'd like to slap on a level 1 precision also, just to have it. You can grab vampirism if you want life on kill for some reason. You can grab AoE if you feel like you want more tornado AoE. I'm running conch effect. My AoE feels fine. It always does. Even with conch, tornadoes have a really large AoE, so it's pretty comfy. You can see, like, I could just sit in anything. It doesn't matter. They do no damage for a while. That does damage. How ironic. I just said that, and I sat in probably 50 crystals. So there is a limit. There's a limit to what I could stand in. I wouldn't recommend standing in that maybe on any character. Yeah, the build is really good, though. I'm thoroughly impressed with how it feels. Would recommend 9 out of 10, you know. When leveling especially, it's been so good. Having the quality makes it a huge difference. Every level gets you more quality, effectively through movement speed. So yeah, really impressed with the build so far. Only nowhere to go but up, you know. And once you start able to get honor homes and corrupt them, like every subsequent honor home that drops now, I get to corrupt my honor homes, and that's 2 extra gem levels, which is a huge chunk of damage, and also more movement speed. So it's all gravy. So we're going to be chilling here. No problemo. Waltzing our way through maps. Alright, there's the boss. You can see the single target is totally fine. Most bosses are dead within, you know, 15 seconds. They're just gone. But yeah, build's really good. Would recommend. That's about it. That's the end of the Diary 1. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Build Diary 2. And with better stuff and better gear. Papa John's.